So we're going to start lying down, if that's all right. Just a nice gentle start for today. We'll ease everything out nice and slowly and steadily. So let's just start lying down. You can have your legs long, or you can place your feet on the floor with your knees up to the ceiling. I'm just going to alter my hair. So just allowing the legs to feel relaxed and the hips to feel relaxed. You might want to have a little shuffle so you just feel aligned on the mat, and the hands are palms facing up towards the ceiling, or you can hold your belly, interlacing your fingers and just noticing the breath and the body with your hands on your belly. So we're going to take a couple of nice deep belly breaths here, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. So we try to do it that way today for this morning. It gives us a bit more energy. So taking the breath, breathing in. Fill the belly with air as you breathe out through the nose. And just notice the middle back soften, breathing in and out. Last time, breathing in and out. And just allow yourself and mind to be, body and mind to be a little bit connected for the next hour ahead. Now we've landed on the mat. Bring your breath back to a natural rhythm, whatever that is for you. And then we're going to slowly walk our feet up towards our glutes with the knees to the ceiling, feet flat on the floor, taking some pressure off the lower back. Bring your arms into a T position, so they're at shoulder height. And we're just going to come in to do a few little windscreen wipers. So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep the feet where they are, flat on the floor. We'll just rock the knees over to the right-hand side and allow the knees to fall, and we'll get a nice little stretch in the hip. And then drawing the left hip into the mat, the knees float up to the ceiling, and we're going to take them over to the right-hand side. And just allow them to relax and use the weight of the legs to open out the hip. We're going to do that again. So lifting the knees up, drawing the belly into the mat, and then over, rocking them over to the other side. And then bringing them up and then back over on the other side. So we're now on the left. And then bring the knees back up. We're going to come into butterfly pose. So bring the soles of the feet together and just open the hips out. So having a little open. If it's too much, you can take your feet down the mat, so you have a slightly wider diamond shape in the legs. And just allow the weight of the knees and the legs to open the hips out. A little stretch. Then using the hands, you can draw the legs back up. And then let's take the legs nice and long. We'll come into a full body stretch. So my arms are now down by side by body. I'm going to inhale, lift the arms all the way up towards above the head, and we'll lengthen through the spine. Send the energy down the feet, so you reach your feet away from you and your arms away from the body, so you're finding a nice full stretch. And then on the next exhale, we're going to walk our feet and hands over to the right side of the mat. So I'm in a banana shape, coming over to the right side of the mat here. I'm going to breathe into the left side of the body. So breathing in. And then on the out breath, slide the hands then out over towards the left-hand side of the body. And we did a banana shape with our hands and feet over to the left side of the mat. Breathing in and out. Bring the body back in line and float the hands and the feet back onto the mat. So my feet are now flat on the mat, knees up to the ceiling. We'll open the hip out. So take the right knee in towards the chest and just give it a little hug to start with. And then releasing the knee, circling the knee out from the hip. So we get a little open. And then circle the other way. And then bring the knee back in line with the hips. You're going to reach the foot up to the ceiling, change the hand grip so that they're behind the knee, and we're going to point and flex the foot. Using out the foot for this morning. And then circle the foot at the ankles. One way, and then circle the other way. Good. Now, bring the knee back into you as a hug. Lengthen the left leg away from you so it's on the floor and the leg is long. And we'll just come in for a spinal twist, taking the left hand on top of the right knee. The right hand goes into a T position. And then we draw the right knee across the body over the left side of the mat. We can shuffle onto our left hip. So you might want to do a little shuffling so that the knee relaxes over. And you've got this nice spinal twist. And your gaze is over towards your right hand. And then breathing in, bring the right knee back up, and then plant the foot into the floor and bring the left foot back up towards you. We'll do that on the other side. So hugging the left knee into the chest, have a little hug. And then circling the knee outwards, warming the hip up. And then circle the other way. Bring the knee into the chest and lengthen the right leg away. And then we're going to rock over and a spinal twist on the other side. So the right hand goes on the left knee. The left hand goes into a T position. We draw the left knee over towards the right side of the body. And then we might need to have a little shuffle over onto the hip so that you can roll over with a little bit more ease. And my gaze goes over towards the left hand. And then drawing the left hip back down into the mat, we'll come through. And one more final body stretch. We're going to inhale, lengthen the arms above us. Big stretch and full alignment. So it's almost like being mountain pose on the floor. And then float the hands beside the body, knees and feet come onto the mat. So knees to the ceiling, feet to the mat. And then we're going to roll over onto our side and then come up into a seated position when we're ready. Coming up nice and gently. Good. And then I'm going to have a little ease of the hips. So we're going to just have a little side stretches in our easy pose here. So bringing the hands out. Bringing the hands out to be in alignment. So my fingers are pointing down. I'm going to take my right ear to right shoulder. I'm going to take a little lean of the neck. And then I'm going to flex my wrist of my left hand so I get a little extra stretch. So my left fingers are pointing towards the ceiling and my right ear is on my right shoulder. And then float the head back up again. Let's tilt the head over to the left this time. And then bring the right hand, fingers pointing up to the ceiling. And then float the head back up again. Drop the chin and tuck the chin into the chest. Stretch of the neck. And then come up again. Lovely. Let's place our hands on our knees and we'll just come in for some shoulder rolls. So breathing in as we lift up, breathe out as we roll them forward. Breathe in and out. And in as the shoulders come up and out. And in and out. And the other way, lifting the shoulders up and lengthen and out. In and out. Last one, in and out. Good. Let's bring our hands back here. We're going to breathe in, lift the right hand up to the ceiling. Exhale, slide the hand away from you, and we'll take a nice stretch. We're going to stay in this position just here. You're trying to draw the right hip down into the mat, so not lifting the sit bones up. And my right hand is beside my ear. I'm going to turn my head, so my gaze is now forward. I'm going to turn my head so it goes up to the ceiling. I'm going to just open that shoulder out a little bit further. Bring the gaze forward again, and then use the right hand to lift yourself up and away. Lovely. Let's do that on the other side. Left hand lifts, inhale. Exhale, slide the hand away. Inhale, look at the ceiling. So we take the gaze up towards the ceiling, and we're going to stay 2 breaths here, breathing in and out, in and out. On the in breath, gaze forward, lift the hand and come. Excellent, lovely. Let's just change legs. So bring the left leg in front. So we're going to do that again on the other side. So left hand lifts, lift, and exhale and slide. Good. Inhale, look up to the ceiling. And exhale, 2 breaths here. Breathing in and out. On the in breath, take the gaze forward, lift the hand and lower the hand back down. Right hand lifts up as we breathe in. As we breathe out, slide the left hand away. We inhale, look up to the ceiling and open. 2 breaths. Inhale forward and then lifting up and out. Lovely. We're going to walk our hands forward for a little reach and stretch of the lower back. So walk the hands forward. I've got little crab hands, so fingertips on the floor, only going as far. Try not to lift the sit bones from the floor, but reaching the sit bones down into the mat. And then we're going to inhale, lifting the chest up. And exhale and sink into the pose and let the body and the weight of the body just allow yourself to sink a bit more. Once more, breathing in and out. Breathe in and walk the hands just a little bit back. Keep them still, body still long, but just make sure that you're firmly sitting, sit bones are on the mat. And then with my fingertips on the floor mat, arms long, I'm going to tuck my chin into my chest. So I'm folding forward, but I'm just going to have a little extra stretch by tucking my chin in. And then release, walk the hands back. And last one on the ground on our seated position. Place the hands behind you. We're going to lengthen the spine, lift the chest, open the shoulders, and take a high arch up towards the ceiling. And then bringing the gaze forward. Great. Let's bring our knees over to one side and we'll come onto all fours. We'll have a few hip rolls to start with. So bringing yourself with your knees underneath your hips, walk the hands slightly further forward, and we're just going to release the hips a little bit so that we've got a bit of space for the hips to move. So taking the hips over to the right, with slight arch of the back up to the ceiling, over to the left, and then circling the body this way. So we're going to do as many as you need. You can linger in a spot if you need to, just easing out. And then come back to stillness. We're going to go the other way. So bringing the hips over to the left, up to the ceiling, over to the right, and warming out. Softening at the arms just to make sure that you're moving and you've got a little bit of space. And then come back to stillness. Lovely. A couple of cow cats here in all fours. So walk the hands back underneath your shoulders, knees underneath hips. We're going to inhale, tipping the pelvis forward, take the gaze up. Exhale, tuck the pelvis under, draw the belly button up, gaze to the thighs. Inhale into cow. And exhale into cat. Stretch through the back. Last one, inhale into cow. And exhale into cat. And then we're going to find that neutral position. We'll find a spinal balance. I'm going to take my right leg away from me. Send the right leg off the floor, toes pointing down. I'm in line with my hip. I've got my weight over my wrists so that I'm nice and square. Draw the belly button in towards the spine so we're not dipping at the waist. Now shift the weight over your right hand and left knee, and then slide the left hand away, coming forward. So we're in a full spinal balance now. And then from this pose, we're going to go elbow to knee. So breathe in. On the out breath, bring the knee and the elbow together. Inhale and lengthen away, slowly and steadily. We're going to do 3 more. Exhale, elbow to knee. Find the balance. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale and lengthen. Last one. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale and lengthen. Just take a moment, find the balance, and then slowly plant the left hand into the mat and the right knee into the mat. Good. We're going to come into, we'll do that on the other side after we've done thread the needle. So plant the left hand into the mat, both knees into the floor, into the mat as well, and then lift the right hand up to the ceiling and we open the chest. We exhale, we slide the right hand underneath our left armpit, bringing the right cheek to the mat. Hips are to the ceiling, so the hips are above the knees. And we just open that nice shoulder. Another breath. Softening and sinking into the pose so we're not holding. And then inhale, bring yourself back up into all fours. And we're going to do the other side. So left leg lengthens away. Send the foot away from you. Flex the foot so the toes are pointing down. Again, we're just finding the core. So draw the belly button in towards you. Zip everything in. And then shift the weight so it's over the left hand and right knee. So there's a little shift of the weight before you slide the right hand away. And then bring the gaze forward. We're going to hold on to that for a moment. A couple of breaths. Noticing all the little small movements that we have to make in order to keep that balance. Now let's do our elbow to knee 4 times. Inhale. On the exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale and lengthen away. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale away. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale away. Exhale, elbow to knee. And inhale away. And then slide the right hand back down a moment. Left knee comes down. Let's take our thread the needle on the other side now. So taking the weight into the knees and the right hand, we inhale, lifting the left arm up to the ceiling, opening the chest. And palm facing forward. Exhale, slide the left hand underneath the armpit, sliding on the floor, and you bring your left cheek to the mat. My right elbow is square, it's giving me a little bit of support. And we'll take 2 breaths. Well, we've already done one, but another breath. Softening into the pose. And then inhale, lifting yourself up and out and planting the hand back into the mat. Well done. Oh, we're going to just tuck the toes under at the back. So we're warming the feet up. So tuck the toes under. We'll give the wrists a break by working our hands up towards our knees. And we're just going to interlace our fingers. And as we're stretching our toes and our feet, we're giving the wrists a little workout as well. So we can go up and down, or a little bit of rolling, rock and roll. Good. Plant the hands back in. We're going to come into downward facing dog. So untuck the toes, give the toes a little squish. So scrunch the toes up, maybe a little circle of the ankles as well, quick one. Warming up the ankles and the feet. And tuck the toes under, walk the hands back, and we're going to come into downward facing dog. So we inhale, on the exhale, we bring the hips up to the ceiling. Just work. We're going to take a moment here in stillness just to soften into the pose a little bit. So we're going to breathe in. So breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Breathing in. And on the next out breath, just lowering the knees and we'll release the hands from the mat. Good. Circle the wrists again and give them a workout. First thing in the morning. So on our knees, we're going to come into a lunge and then a half split. So if you have got blocks and you need blocks, bring the blocks either side. If not, you can use a wall or something. So use the right hand to draw the right knee forward. And we're going to walk the feet. I'm walking my foot past my knee so that I've got somewhere to go. And I'm just going to bring my hands to my hips. So they're either side, elbows out. We're going to breathe in, and on the out breath, we're just going to take the weight forward. And we're going to have a little lunge forward, easing out. Now I'm going to come into a flow here so we don't stay there. We're going to inhale, bring the hips back again. Exhale, bring the hips forward, and the weight comes forward. We open the knees, that's it. Inhale and lift, bring the hips back. Last time, exhale and lower. This time, bring the hands either to the thigh or the floor or the blocks beside you if you want that. And we're going to just have a little rest here, breathing in and out and softening at the hips, in and out. Now walk the hands back a little bit. Bring the hands either to the knee or the hips, lifting the body upright. Draw the hips back so they're now over the knee, and I'm straightening my right leg, so I'm in a half split here. My foot is flexed, good. We inhale. On the exhale, keep your hands on your hips. We're drawing the body forward from the hips, keeping the spine nice and straight, coming in for a little stretch of the back of the leg. Inhale, lift the body. And then planting the foot onto the floor, we'll slide it back into a kneeling position. Good. Let's come on the other side. So inhale, you can, if you need to, you can assist the left leg up and walk the foot by, just inching it forward a little bit. 3 backwards and forwards, a little flow. Inhale on the exhale, bend the knee, draw the hips forward. Opening out nice and slow and steady. Inhale and bring the hips back. Exhale and hips forward. And inhale and back. Exhale, bend the front knee, the hips come forward. Hands release, come either side of the foot or the thigh or on the blocks. We have a deeper stretch here. And then bringing the body upright, we're going to slide the hips back over the knee, straightening the left leg and flexing the foot. Again, have a little stretch of the back of the leg. So inhale on the exhale, draw the chest towards the thigh, keeping the body nice and straight. Sinking into the pose as we breathe out. Let's breathe in, lift the body upright, plant the foot onto the mat, and then draw that leg back in towards us. Good. We're going to come back into downward facing dog. So plant the hands onto the mat, tuck the toes under, walk forward, inhale. On the exhale, lifting the hips up to the ceiling. Good. I'll just feel the backs of the legs now after that little stretch. We're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale. On the exhale, draw the chest to the thigh, open through the shoulders. Feel the heels sinking into the mat and the sit bones sinking to lifting up towards the ceiling. Now take your gaze towards the hands, and we're going to walk our feet towards the hands, coming up to the front edge of the mat. And in it, my knees are bent, my chest is on my thighs, and my hands are reaching down towards the floor in a very soft pose here. I'm going to sneeze, just stay there for a moment. Excuse me. Right. Now tuck the chin in. Again, we're going to nod the head, so tuck the chin into the chest and release. Tuck the chin into the chest and release. Good. Walk the hands up the legs, up the thighs, and we're going to come into a modified monkey pose with my hands on my thighs. My spine is nice and straight. I'm giving my backs and my legs a little workout. Now from here, keep the spine where it is, and we're just going to allow the hands to fall off the thighs down towards the floor. So my fingertips are now reaching downwards, and this is our modified monkey. This is our full monkey pose just here. Slide the hands towards the hips, bring the hands up there, and then lift the body up in one piece, coming up to standing, and then give those hips a little wiggle. Okay, so we're going to do salute to the sun, which we don't do very often. I'm trying to bring the sun. It's nice and warm, it's just no sunshine, so I thought maybe we could do a salute to the sun. So we're going to do it 4 times. The first 2 times I'm going to do it nice and slow and steady. We'll get into a little rhythm, and then the second 2 times, we can, figure out what we're doing. You can take a little bit of a better flow at your own pace. So, sorry, I'm tangled up at the back. So when you're doing salute to the sun, you do it with your breath, and everybody's breath is slightly different. So if you want to do the salute to the sun at your own pace and you know it, then feel free, and you can linger in different poses to make sure that you want. If not, I'll do the breathing and the steadiness of it. But I know some people who've got their own practice want to do it a little bit with their own breath, staying in a position for a bit longer, and that's absolutely fine. So let's start at the front edge of the mat. And we're going to breathe in, so find our mountain pose to start with. Just settle. We breathe in, lifting the hands up to the ceiling. We breathe out, bring the hands towards the chest. The right thumb crosses the left thumb. We inhale, we lengthen, take a little back bend, the hands go up. We exhale, the hands part, and we're bending at the hips, coming through a flat back, and our hands come through into forward fold. We breathe in, fingertips in front of you or on your thighs into a monkey pose, lengthen the spine. We breathe out back into forward fold, tucking the chin in, and we step the right leg out into a lunge. Plant the hands into the mat and the left leg comes back to meet. We lower ourselves down to the mat in chaturanga or lower knees, chest, chin. We lengthen the feet behind us, hands beside the chest. We inhale, bringing the hands up into cobra, taking the gaze forward. We exhale, bring the body down. Keep the legs now in line with the hips and tuck the toes under. We inhale. You can do this through all fours and then into downward facing dog if that's a little bit more gentler. We're going to step the right leg through into a lunge. So stepping the right leg forward. The left leg comes to meet into a nice forward fold. We inhale through flat back, reverse swan dive. The hands all come back up to the ceiling. We exhale and our hands come to heart center. Cross the left thumb over the right thumb. We inhale, take the hands up to the ceiling. We take a little back bend. Exhale, hands part and come down the side of the body. The spine is straight as it folds forward. We inhale into monkey pose. So fingertips on the floor, 6 inches in front of the toes or on the thighs. We exhale through forward fold, keeping the legs nice and straight. Tuck the chin in, left leg goes back. Plant the hands into the mat, step the right leg back to meet the left foot. And then we lower knees, chest, chin or chaturanga down to the floor. Untuck the toes, send the energy in the legs away to the bottom corners of the mat. Keep the elbows tucked in as we inhale into cobra. And exhale back down, forward onto the mat. Bring the legs in line with the body and tucking the toes under. We come through either plank and downward dog or all square. And then lift the hips up to the ceiling into downward facing dog. Step the left leg to meet the right leg. The right leg comes to meet as well. And we reverse swan dive all the way back up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Now we're going to do it a little bit pacier this time. Now we know what we're doing. Make those alterations. So right thumb crosses left thumb. We inhale, take a little back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale into monkey pose. Exhale through forward fold. The right leg comes back. Left leg comes to meet. And we lower chaturanga onto the floor. Untuck the toes. Inhale into cobra. Lifting the back, maybe a little bit higher, gaze up. Exhale and lower. Bring the legs aligned, tuck the toes under through plank or all fours. Exhale into downward facing dog. Right leg comes and steps forward. You might want to assist it. The left leg comes forward. Foot, reverse swan dive, and we come through into mountain pose. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Left thumb crosses the right thumb. We inhale and lengthen. Exhale and forward fold. We inhale, fingertips in front of us into monkey pose. Exhale through forward fold, and the left leg comes back. The right leg comes to meet the right into plank. We lower chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, and tuck the toes. Lengthen and slightly part the legs into inhale. into cobra, and exhale, and down. Bring the legs back in line, tuck the toes under, through plank or all fours and into downward facing dog. The left leg steps forward into a lunge, the right leg comes and meets the left leg. Lengthen through forward fold, reverse swan dive into mountain pose, and we're done. Well done. That should feel a little bit easier at the hips and everything. The first time I do salute to the sun, I go, oh, ah, eh. And then by the time it gets to the second round, I'm getting right into the flow. It's nice. Let's come through into our center of the mat, and we're going to do a little bit of a strengthening exercise, hip opener flow. So I'm going to take my feet. How does it? Oh yeah. So we're going to take the, there's a little bit of changing of the feet, and we're going to do this 4 times. The first 2 times I'll just go really nice and slowly, and then we're going to do it again, but with a little bit more flow, because it's like slow and steady, because you're not quite sure where your feet is. So my toes are pointing forward, my heels are pointing back. I'm going to bring my hands towards my hips. I'm going to breathe in, and on the out breath, bring my body forward into a straddle pose. So just bring the body forward. Release the hands from the hips. Take the hands to the floor. You can widen the stance if you need to. Bringing the body down. And then hands come to the floor or beside the feet. We inhale. We come back up, lift the body upright. Hands come to the hips and we lift the body up. And at this point, I'm going to change my feet. So I'm going to turn my right foot out into warrior 2 position just here. So my left foot stays where it is, but I turn my right foot out. We inhale, we lengthen our arms up to shoulder level. We exhale, we bend the right elbow, bend the right knee, and extended side angle, dropping the forearm into the thigh. The left arm comes either up to the ceiling or towards the ear, palm facing the floor. Lovely. We inhale, the hand comes up, bring the body upright, but keep the front leg bent. And we inhale into warrior 2, gaze over the middle finger of the front hand. Slide the left hand down to the thigh, right hand reaches up to the ceiling. We inhale, take the gaze up, and we're in reverse warrior. Exhale, or we come back through warrior 2. So warrior 2, both palms facing down. And then we lengthen the front leg. This time bring the hands towards the hips and turn the feet out. So the toes are pointing out, heels are pointing in. Inhale, both hands come up to the ceiling. We exhale, and then we come into prayer squat. And our hands come to our hearts. Lovely. We inhale, we lengthen the hands all the way up to the ceiling, and the hands float down, come to the hips, and we turn our feet, toes pointing forward, heels pointing back. And that's our little flow that we've got. So as long as you kind of know there's a couple of feet changes to accommodate, we can kind of get into that. So we're going to do the left side, and then we'll go through right and left again, just so we get into that nice rhythm of the breath and the movements together. So hands on hips, breathing in. On the out breath, bring the body forward. Release the hands from the hips and bring the hands towards the floor or the outside of the legs in towards our foot straddle pose. We inhale, hands release from the floor or the feet, hands to hips, and bring the body upright. We turn the left foot out this time into warrior 2 pose. And make sure we've got an adjustment. The hands release from the hips, come through, palms down up to shoulder level. We exhale, bend the left elbow, bend the left knee, and drop the forearm onto the thigh. We inhale, the right hand comes up, and we're in extended side angle pose, having a little stretch. Keeping the legs bent, we inhale, arms come into warrior 2 position. So we just bring the hands up, gaze towards the middle finger of the left hand. Keep the legs bent, slide the right hand to the thigh, left hand reaches up to the ceiling, palm facing. We inhale. Good. Take a reverse warrior. And then exhale, bringing ourselves back upright. Lengthen the leg, and then this time hands to the hips, turning the feet out, toes pointing out, heels pointing in. We inhale, Arms come up through 5-pointed star. Exhale, hands come to the heart, and we bend the knees into our prayer squat. Lovely. We just have a little moment there. Inhale, back up, and exhale, hands come to the hips. We turn the feet parallel again. So we're going to do that right and left this time, building up. So it's quite nice. It doesn't stay static. So inhale and exhale, leaning forward. Bring the hands towards the floor or the outside of the legs. One breath here, breathing in and out. And then on the next in breath, bring the hands back to the hips and bring the body upright and turn the right foot towards the short edge of the mat. We inhale, bring the hands to the shoulders. Exhale, bend the right knee and the right arm into extended side angle. The left arm reaches up to the ceiling or towards your ear. Keeping the legs bent, we inhale, release the hands from the legs and come through into Warrior Two. The gaze goes to the middle finger. One breath, and on the exhale, slide the left hand to the thigh. The right hand reaches up to the ceiling as we breathe in. Exhale, bring the hands back to shoulder level through Warrior Two, and then we straighten the leg, and then hands to hips, toes pointing out, heels pointing in. Inhale, hands come up through pointed star. Hands reach up to the ceiling. Exhale through Namaste, Anjali Mudra. Hands to the chest or the sternum, open the knees. We inhale, hands come up to the ceiling through pointed star. Exhale, sweep the hands towards the hips, turn the feet, toes pointing forward. Inhale and exhale, leaning forward. Release the hands. One breath, inhale and exhale. Inhale, hands to hips, lengthen the spine. And exhale, change the feet so the left foot is forward, right foot back. Exhale, inhale, arms to Warrior Two. Exhale and bend the left arm, left thigh, right arm reaches up to the ear. We inhale, lengthen up, keep the legs bent, arms through Warrior Two, gaze over the middle finger of the front hand. Slide the right hand down to the thigh, left hand reaches up. We inhale and exhale, hands come through Warrior Two, and then lengthen the front leg, toes pointing out, heels pointing in, hands to hips. Good. We inhale, slide the hands up through 5-pointed star, hands meet into Anjali Mudra as we exhale, knees open, hands towards the heart. We inhale, both hands come up to the 5-pointed star, have a full stretch, and exhale, bring the toes pointing forward, heels pointing back. Lovely, well done guys. Have a little rest out of that nice open, it's quite gentle hip opener, nothing too dynamic. I like the flows, you don't stay in one position too long. Let's find a little bit of balance now. So come through into mountain pose and we'll test our balance. So I'm just lengthening through the backs of the legs, lengthen the spine, reaching the head towards the ceiling. We're just finding a strong mountain pose. We should be feeling a bit more connected with our body. So reaching the head to the ceiling. And then we'll come in for a rise. So shift the shoulders over the balls of the feet. You'll feel the heels lift slightly. And then take the heels up and reaching the head towards the ceiling. And exhale, lower the heels down. Good. Just give those feet a little workout. So release any tension or grippiness. And we'll come into tree pose now. We've tested our balance. So again, find that mountain pose. Concentrate on something in front of you. So choose a point. And then breathing in, taking the hands towards the heart in Anjali Mudra. We shift our weight over towards the left leg, releasing the right leg. And then we're going to open the right knee from the hip, planting the foot either onto the ankle, calf, or thigh. And then releasing the foot. Oh, there was a lovely moment of stillness there. Well done. Let's circle the feet at the ankles again, because there's a little bit of grippiness. I was quite calm there. It's connected, but I feel my ankle gripping. Let's find that on the other side. So once more, shift the weight over towards, bring the hands towards the heart. That helped. Shift the weight over towards the right foot this time. And then turning the left leg out from the hip, bringing the foot at the ankle, thigh, or calf. And getting our focal point in front of us. And bringing the foot back down again. Well done. Again, a little bit of grippiness. Let's just work the ankle out. Lovely. Let's slide through to the front edge of the mat, and we're going to come down for a few seated poses towards the end, and then supine poses lying on our back. We're just going to roll down through the back, so standing up nice and straight and tall, tucking the chin into the chest, the shoulders soften, we release any weight from the knees, so the knees soften too, hands reach towards the floor, and we just soften over the legs, back in our ragdoll pose. So opposite hand to opposite elbow. Let's tuck the chin in, so we're nodding the head or shaking the head. And then release the hands from the elbows. Let's bring one knee down to the mat, the other knee down to the mat, and come down nice and safely. And we're going to find our seated positions today. So let's come onto our bottom. And we're going to come into head to knee. So let's bring the left leg is nice and long, toes flexed. We bring the right foot either to the calf, the inside of the calf, knee or thigh, but try not to tip or shift the pelvis. So if you're bringing it quite high up to the thigh, make sure that the right hip doesn't get sent back to the back of the mat. So we're trying to keep the hips in line. So finding a little bit of space. If you're struggling with this, you can also sit on a block or a bit of blanket, lifts it up, gives you a little bit of extra height, if that's what you'd like to do today. So starting with a nice straight spine, draw that belly button in. We're going to lift that hands up to the ceiling. Draw the shoulders into the back. A little moment of just making sure that we're connected with our core. Exhale, drawing the chest forward, and the nose comes towards the knee. Our hands are reaching either to our shin, ankle, or foot. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths, quite a long time. And with each breath, just think about softening the lower back, the back of the leg, and just feel the body sink. And that was my 5 breaths. So take the right hand in this position, I haven't come up yet, take the right hand and place it on the outside of the left leg. And then my left arm is going to open out. So my left arm is going to go diagonally upwards and open out. I'll get a little twist in the hip. Slide the left hand back down to the thigh, release the right hand from the foot, and then we're just going to walk the hands up the legs, coming back up to a nice seated position, nice and gently. Lovely. Let's do that on the other side. So the right leg comes out, the left leg comes in. Again, calf, knee, thigh. Keeping the spine nice and straight, we're balancing on our 2 sit bones. We inhale, the hands come up to the ceiling. We exhale, leaning from the hip, bringing the chest towards the thigh. We bring our hands towards the foot or ankle, shin, knee. And we're going to take 5 breaths here, breathing in. And that was my 5 breaths. So the left hand crosses over the right leg and it comes and hooks onto the ankle or the foot or the shin. And my right arm opens out diagonally upwards to the ceiling. So I'm taking a two-way twist, opening at the hip, chest. And exhale, bring that right hand down, knee back to nose, nose back to knee, sorry. And then walking the hands back up through to come up to seated position. Let's bring both legs out in front this time. And again, we're going to do forward fold in this seated staff position. So again, find that sit bones. If you need a block underneath you, that's always an option, or a cushion in this position just here. We inhale, lengthen both hands up to the ceiling, and then exhale, leaning with the hips, bending at the hips and bringing the body forward, knees to the thighs, shins, ankle or feet. And again, nice long 5 breaths. And then walking the hands back up the legs. We're going to bring our hands to the hips, come into boat pose. So slide the hips down, knees to the ceiling, feet flat on the floor, and we'll find a balance. So the hands can come behind the knees or parallel with the floor, if that's an option. We're leaning back, feet off the floor. Nice one. Yeah, if you want to do that and find the balance in finding our balance on our sit bones. Now we can see if we can challenge ourselves by not putting our feet down, but lengthening through the spine and lowering ourselves down to the mat if we can. Oh, and we're ready. Walk the feet back up. We're going to give our lower back a little bit of a rest. So hug the knees into the chest and have a little stretch of that lower back, because it was a boat pose, does take a little bit of effort on the lower back. Now circle the knees, so we're just massaging the hips and the lower back into the floor. And then planting the feet into the mat. We're going to return again to butterfly pose to see how we're feeling. So soles of the feet together, and just open the knees and relax onto the mat. Just letting gravity do its thing. And then bringing the knees back in. We're going to lift both feet off to the mat, up to the ceiling. So I'm just going to bring both knees for a little inversion. So bring both feet up, allow the weight of the legs to come down. If you need to, you can plant your hands into the mat, palms facing down. It gives you a little bit of balance and stability. And just to enjoy feeling the blood go from your feet, because they've worked hard today. And then take the hands to the outside of the thighs. We're going to open the legs into a V position. So parting the legs and open the legs out. You can hold the legs on the outside of the legs, or you can enjoy gravity, just allowing the legs to come forward. If you want to, you can take your hands on the inside of the legs or behind the knees, and then use the hands and the legs to a bit of support, but open the legs out more if that's your option, or alternatively take your hands on the outside. Depends how you're feeling today. On the next in breath, plant the hands on the outside of the legs and draw the knees up. Bend the knees, feet flat on the floor, and I'm going to come into reclined pigeon. So right foot comes onto the outside of the left, onto the left knee, open the knee out from the hip, and then plant the right hand through the leg, the left hand on the outside of the left leg, and draw that knee in towards you. Holding the hands on the outside of the leg or on top of the knee, depending on how flexible you are. and release. And we're going to do the other side. So right foot plants into the mat, left foot comes to the right knee, open the left knee at the hip. Take the left hand through the leg, the right hand on the outside of the right leg, drawing that knee in towards you. And both hands come either behind the knee or on top of the knee, hugging the left foot in. And then release. We're going to plant that right foot back into the mat, left foot releases. So we're going to come back into that lower back stretch that we started off at the beginning of class, just to see how, when we first do it at the start of class, we sometimes find that it's really stiff and awkward. By the time we've done the class, we might feel a bit different. So hug the right knee in towards the chest, lengthen the left leg away from you. And then plant the left hand onto the right knee. The right hand comes into a T position and you roll over on the hip, bringing the right knee over to the left hand side. This time take your gaze over to the left shoulder and just notice any difference from the start of the class. My shoulder's a bit further down and my knee's a little bit closer to the floor. And then bring the right hip back up, planting both hips into the mat, walk the feet back in, and we'll do that on the left side to finish. Left leg comes into the chest, the right leg goes away, and we have a little lengthen and a stretch. And then the right hand plants on top of the left knee, the left hand into a T position. Draw the left knee over to the right side, rotating on the hip so that you could get a little bit more of the knee over to the floor, and take the gaze over to the left hand. Roll over back onto the mat, and we're ready for our relaxation. So extra layer or jumper, or if it's comfortable and warm in your house, just lying on the mat.